you doing, kiddo? You really gonna go through with this?
So PlayStation surprised us by showing a short teaser trailer at last year's PlayStation Experience, and it didn't really tell us much, but we know that Ellie's back, we presume that Joel is back, and we have kind of a rough idea that this is probably a few years later. We know Ellie has a cool tattoo, but we don't know much else. I think The Last of Us Part 2 will almost definitely be at E3. I think this is kind of the crown jewel in Sony's lineup of exclusives, and this game may be far away. We don't know how far along it is, but I do think that we'll see at least another teaser just to kind of keep that hype train going. The original Last of Us is one of the best games of last generation, and honestly one of the best storytelling experiences in games in general. I think Naughty Dog has proven that they are just one of the best developers around, and they really know how to tell a story. And I think we became so attached to those characters in the first game that seeing them return, those performances from Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker again, plus having the original writing team back, Neil Druckmann's back, but now he partnered with Haley Gross, who's a writer on WESTWORLD from HBO. I just think all the pieces are in place for something really, really special. I think Last of Us would be a great candidate to open the show. I think we'll probably see some footage, but my guess is that we're still a few years out for The Last of Us Part 2. I think this is probably a 2018 game. I think Naughty Dog has shown that they can be really fast, but my guess is that real work began on this after Uncharted 4 was completed. I think we're more likely to maybe meet a new character or see sort of an intro cutscene to something that sort of establishes what's going on since the events of Last of Us Part 1. I don't think they would show gameplay quite yet. They could even take a page out of EA's book and show the fact that it's in production, show some mocap, show some wireframe stuff, but my guess is that this is still a little too early to do any kind of like extended gameplay demo or anything like that. I think there was so much ambiguity at the end of the first game that there's just room to fill in. Like, I think there are a lot of games where you get an ending and you're like, you know what, I'm satisfied. Whereas The Last of Us really did leave us with so many questions that I think there's room to see what else happens to these characters. Ellie is very important to kind of the bigger picture lore of what's going on in the world, and I think there's more of her story to tell, and to make it more about her. I think the first game was sort of certainly about her relationship with Joel, but it sort of felt like more his story, and it began on what happened in his life. This is kind of a chance for us to really fully focus on Ellie, and I think that's exciting. I think Naughty Dog understands characters almost better than anyone, and I think, of course, people talk about the gameplay and about the shooting mechanics and all the things, the game that you play, but I think the thing that everyone remembers and that makes Naughty Dog's game special is caring about the characters, and that's why it's exciting that this isn't a new group or a focus on a new set of characters. It is Joel and Ellie, and it will continue that story. It'll fill in kind of the gaps from that ambiguous ending in the first game, and I think Naughty Dog is kind of ready to embrace that and to show us what's happening in these characters' journey.
I'm gonna find, and I'm gonna kill every last one of them.
We're streaming live from E3 2017 starting Saturday, June 10th at 11 a.m. on IGN, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you're watching. Make sure to subscribe for everything E3.